Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and there are way too many Amonkhet previews to go over in a single video. We have a lot to talk about, so we're splitting them up into two videos today. Double the pleasure, double the fun. Kind of makes me want gum now. Anyways, in this first video, we're talking more Planeswalker action, some split card goodness, and constructed playable cards for days. I do hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, remember to hit that like button, helps out a lot. Throne of the God-Pharaoh, that name is giving me shivers. This 2-mana for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. There are so many uses for this, I don't know where to start. The most obvious, in an aggressive deck where you're turning stuff sideways all the time. You drain your opponent while also attacking them, that's double dipping on damage. Or you can use this with a lot of mana producing creatures, hitting your opponent every time you tap to add mana. Or you can use this with Convoke and dome your opponents. Or you can take advantage of a card like Army of the Damned, or your opponent's Thalia, or possibly the simplest synergy of all, vehicles. You crew vehicles, you attack with vehicles, everything is tapped, smack to the face. The throne is quite formidable. I can't wait to see if players use this in Standard. What a truly punishing card, wow. Glorybound Initiate is 2 mana for a 3/1 human warrior. You may exert it as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+3 and gains a lifelink until end of turn. There is no way that this is fair. I get that you have to exert it, but you're really attacking with a 4/4 lifelinker on turn 3. That's so good. So good. And pointed out by several creators and pros already, this with always watching, do I even have to say anything? Giving this vigilance and +1/+1 means that it remains untapped, and you're coming in with a 5/5 lifelinker on turn 3. That has to be a deck. We have to make this a thing. Glorybound Initiate is terrifying to say the absolute least, constructed playable for sure. All of my dreams have come true. Regal Caracal is 3 of anything and 2 white for a 3/3 cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. When the Caracal enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 cat creature tokens with lifelink. Holy mother of meows! This is basically everything I've ever wanted in my life. Before you even have to ask, yes. We are going to make Cat Tribal a thing. 100%, absolutely yes. This card is hilarious and surprisingly strong. 5 mana for a 3/3 and 2 2/2s with a lifelink? That's pretty friggin' powerful. Let's be real. We're talking pack 1, pick 1 status for limited easily. The amount of pressure this feline brigade creates is unmatched for the cost. I think what's most important here, though, we have another awesome target for Felidar Guardian. Also a cat. Just bring the Caracal. Get more cats. Cats for days. Cats for months. All the cats. I love cats. I'm so excited. As Foretold is 3 mana for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. Sure, why not? What makes this card absurdly stupid? You can cast a spell with converted mana cost X or less. Or less! That gives you so much flexibility, it's unreal. It's just downright dumb sauce. And it lets you cast suspend cards. Ancestral Visions is the card that was used as an example, but yeah, you can cast this on 0 with As Foretold. How magnificently crazy is that? And, do you remember what's in Commander right now? Yeah, Atraxa. Friggin' Atraxa. Maybe one day they'll stop printing cards that make this commander stupid, but today, not that day. Unreal. This card is just unreal. Wow. Liliana, Death's Majesty is 3 of anything and 2 black for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. You can +1 and create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. You can also -3 and return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a zombie in addition to its other types. And you can -7 and destroy all non-zombie creatures. I had to think for a little bit about how I felt about Liliana. This is where I'm at. 5 mana is a lot for a planeswalker nowadays, and 5 loyalty is fine, but it isn't crazy. +1 does add some protection in the form of a 2/2 and gives you some graveyard beef if your deck is into that, but a 2/2 isn't going to stop much turn 5, you know? The middle ability, that's the key though, that's what most walkers are based on. And this one doesn't disappoint. Getting Reanimate on a stick, it's hard to say no to that. And she survives after doing it, that's quite strong. Her ultimate is something you probably won't get to very often, as her -3 is just too good. But if you do, it does synergize with both of her other abilities. Here's the thing. I think this Liliana is strong, but she isn't flashy. She isn't super cheap, doesn't come with super high loyalty. She's just good. So when you evaluate her, think about the usefulness of her abilities rather than how flashy she may or may not be. At worst, look at it this way. At worst, she's a reanimate spell and then she absorbs a hit from the opponent. And if that's the worst, that's pretty friggin' good. I like her. Won't be $1 billion like the last hope, but I like her a lot. Scarab Feast is 1 black mana for an instant with cycling costing 1 black. Exile up to 3 target cards from a single graveyard. Now this is an efficient graveyard hit card. It doesn't get rid of an entire graveyard sometimes, but it does some targeted damage for a low cost, and it has cycling in case you end up not needing the effect. Scrap Heap Scrounger, great target for this. Now, they could just pay the cost again and exile another creature, but that's still additional resources they have to put in. It's not the flashiest card in the world, but definitely a nod to needing more graveyard hate in Standard, that's for sure. Wow, they are really nailing it with names this time around. Manglehorn is 3 mana for a 2/2 beast. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. For being an uncommon, Manglehorn does a lot, especially in the current Standard environment. Against vehicles, it's basically a removal spell since it can target even uncrewed vehicles. It also stops the Saheeli combo from wrecking you because those copies are artifacts and will enter the battlefield tapped. I'm interested to see if there's any playability beyond Standard. The beast comes with some powerful abilities, and in Commander or Modern, there could be uses for such oppressive tech. I'm going to think more about this, but regardless, it's a great time for a card like this. It's really well positioned. Mouth, great name, is 3 mana for a sorcery. Create a 3/3 Hippo creature token. Before we continue, let's just take a moment to celebrate that hippos are creature tokens. Our Lord and Savior Feldegrif would be pleased. Anywho, Feed is 4 mana for a sorcery with Aftermath. Draw a card for each creature you control with power 3 or greater. As brought up 1,000,000 times so far by 1,000,000 people, this card works wonders with Wart the Raid Mother and Conspire, basically letting you get multiple hippos and a ton of card draw. Besides that, I think the card is destined for Commander with that second ability. Something for Tristani, Gave, Marath, there are a ton of directions you can go in, and while the card doesn't scream outrageous, there is playability here. Gotta love me some hippos. Rags is 2 of anything and 2 black for a sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Riches is 5 of anything and 2 blue for a sorcery with Aftermath. Each opponent chooses a creature they control. You gain control of those creatures. Wow. Rags to Riches is just the definition of an unfun card. Holy crap. You have to straight up deal with Infest, that's never fun. But then from the graveyard, control magic, but for everyone? At least your opponents get to choose the creatures they don't want, but still has to be a rare for limited purposes. This just screams no fun. At least the story is happy. The cat is living in squalor, then is adopted. Oh, it's so cute, warms my heart. Cut is 2 mana for a sorcery. Cut deals 4 damage to target creature. Well, that's straightforward. Ribbons is X and 2 black for a sorcery with Aftermath. Each opponent loses X life. This is absolutely a split card I can get behind. It has everything that red-black wants. Sure, it's at sorcery speed, but in limited, 4 damage for 2 mana is never something you ignore. And then once it's in the graveyard, you have access to a game-winning spell. Another playable split card as far as I'm concerned. After the first few split cards we've seen, these are starting to feel more like rares. Anyone else feel that way? I quite enjoy them. It's a good card. Limited powerhouse, I think, just for sure. Insult is 3 mana for a sorcery. Damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control would deal damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. Injury is 3 mana for a sorcery with Aftermath. Injury deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. Alright, now this feels more like an Aftermath rare to me. Insult comes with an absurdly powerful effect that you usually have to spend a bit more to get. And it comes with a neat graveyard spell that shocks your opponent and one of their creatures. We've spoken about this before, but another potential card for the Pummeler deck. Make a gigantic, prevent damage from being prevented, and then just go ham with it. Beyond that, it's a powerful card with a lot of versatility. This definitely feels like a limited rare. I like it a lot. And this is only the first of 2 videos, and already, wow, we have seen so much of Amonkhet now, and we aren't even halfway done with the set yet. You have to let me know what you're thinking. How do you feel about all of this? How do you feel about new Liliana? Is she what you expected? Did you expect something flashier? How about the crazy as Foretold Mythic? I don't know about any of you, but the set really feels different from what we're used to. The way the cards are laid out, what they do, it really does feel like we're on a different plane in a different world. Anyone else? Just me? Let me know what you're thinking. Also, stay tuned to the channel for the latest and most reliable Amonkhet spoiler information you could ever need. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. I think it's pretty safe to say that Amonkhet is delivering on a lot of what it promised. We have cool mechanics, cool cards, playable cards, probably the most important thing, and there's definitely excitement in the air. I think the hype is back, and I think we've been looking at some solid cards. So if you want to pre-order boxes of Amonkhet right now, you can absolutely do that for $91 each. $91 each, that is so cheap. If you don't have a local game store or yours is charging too much, boom, just click the link on the screen. Super crazy, awesome cheapness. You get your boxes, helps the channel. We all win. Enjoy.